So let's do a detailed tour of the back border, which really needs tidying up. It's an absolute mess, but I'm going to do that later. I'm just going to show you the before. So we've got a tree here, I don't know what it is, and we're next to the messy wood store. Some Brunera there, I think it might be Jack Frost. My mum gave it to me only a couple of weeks ago, so it's only just gone in, but looking okay in its new home. This is the geranium macrorrhizum Bevan's variety, which is the same as in the courtyard, in the shady bit, which has bright pink flowers. Copes well in dry shade, so I've popped that in there. Along the back is a hardy geranium, which I've just popped in there for it to have a home. And a hardy geranium here, more Bevan's variety. This is a Nemesia that I just love. I can't remember the variety, but that was in another border, and I thought I lost it in the frost, and it's been going for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, and I thought I lost it in the frost, and there was just a tiny bit left, so I replanted it over here, and it's doing really well, so I'm really pleased with that, and it flowers for literally months, so that's a really lovely plant behind it. Over here we've got a heuchera, which is, I've never grown them before, this is my first one. It's another one my mum gave me. I think it probably needs a little bit more space, but it seems to be settling in. The nettles are spreading. There's the feature nettle patch disguising a bunch of rubbish. It's actually just behind the border is actually the neighbour's land, but they never come around here because the sheds and the stable are there. So the rubbish doesn't bother me really. We've removed what we could, including a load of greenhouse glass. But it doesn't bother me. I just chuck the grass cuttings on it and grow flowers in front. So I think they've put up that fence panel to try and hide it, which it's absolutely fine. I mean, it really doesn't bother me. Yeah, so need to take out some of those nettles. I think that might be a foxglove there. That's sort of self-seeded. I've just left it. We'll see next year what that does. This self-seeded as well. I think it's probably some form of marsh marigold, and I'm not really that keen on yellow usually, but I really like it. It's staying, and we'll just see if that comes back. More Bevan's variety, and you can see it's like really taken off there, and it's really good because you can take clumps off it. See, you could just pull that bit off, plant it somewhere else, and it'll grow into a big clump again. Super useful plant. And then we've got, so this is the, not polonium, polmium, no, pole something, a bit like polonium, but isn't. Jacob's ladder is the colloquial name for it. Absolutely love it. It's just gone all summer. Really happy there, really pretty blue flowers. So I'm hoping that's going to self-seed, or I will divide it, so hopefully we'll have more of that. I mean, I've got a few in, but hopefully we'll have more of that next year. This is the hardy geranium that's a staple in my garden. Can't remember, coats with dry shade, coats with sun, and flowers a long time. These, didn't Chelsea chop them or anything, and so they've not really had a decent chopping this year, so I'm going to cut those right back just to give everything a little bit more space. But that's a same as out the front, that's a geranium pretense. I think it might be called baby blue, and it just has beautiful blue flowers, kind of midsummer, so it's over now. Don't know if it will come back if I give it a good cutting. I don't know if it'll come back with flowers this year, but it needs it. It's looking a little bit mouldy basically, so we'll give that one a haircut. Some Michaelmas daisies, which are just planted, so they're coming on nicely. This is the Astrantia, my first Astrantia. Hattie's pincushion. Absolutely love it. It's such a pretty plant. That needs a bit of a haircut. We've got some dead bits, but if I cut that off, then more flowers will come. And then some cornflowers still going in the background. Right in there. That's a hydrangea cutting, so that could do with a little bit more space, but it's settled in. That's done really well. And some geum. I'm going to divide, deadheading, won't see it. I'm going to divide this and probably put some out the front, I think. Small geranium needs cutting back. I can't remember what that is. Might be a Perez japonica. It's red leaves in the early spring. So I think that will get a bit bigger, and I'm going to redesign all of this border because I've got some things to put in and some things on in the best spot. Cosmos doing well. These are the Shasta daisies that I pruned back the other day. They did really well, the Shastas, this year. They need dividing. I'm probably taking down a little bit more because they're a bit tall still, but they're kind of holding up the cosmos, so that's fine. It's the Achillea. Oh, it's vintage purple, I think. Vintage pink, something like that. Really pretty plant. Going to be dividing up that, hoping that will maybe self-seed, but I'm going to get some more of those anyway because they're really nice cut flowers, and you can get for quite vibrant pinks and things, so I'm going to do that in the courtyard. That's not really doing much. That's one of those, you know, those pound shop roses. You get those miniature patio roses. They're in a tiny pot, they're £1, and that's been going for about, oh, there's a bud on it. Yay. That's, oh, it's got to be 5 years, maybe more. It's not done a lot this year. It's been in a pot in the courtyard mostly. I've only just moved it out the back here, but it seems to have taken, so that's good. I'll give that time. What else? Oh, these. They're not looking so great, but these are self-seeded snapdragons, which and some weeds, actually thought were zinnia. I've planted some zinnia seeds, or sowed some zinnia seeds here, and I was really excited. All these seedlings came up, but they turned out to be snapdragons, which is lovely. Not zinnias, but snapdragons are still lovely. I think these were a bit crowded out, so they didn't really do a lot this year. Those cornflowers need a bit of deadheading. What's left over of the forget-me-nots, which I just sprinkled down some wild seed, blue flower seed, and that's what came up, so I'll just let them get on with it really, but they need a bit of tidying up. And then there's another hydrangea at the back, which definitely is running out of space, so I need to give that a bit of air. Got the toadflax and the bees loving it. I love that toadflax. Such an easy thing to grow. I'll have a bit more of that, I expect, because it self-seeds. Can get a bit rampant. Look forward to that. This is penstemon, however you want to say it. Wedding bells, I think, which I bought in the garden centre in the bargain bucket for, I don't know, £3 or something. And it did really well in pots, in a pot in the courtyard last year. So I moved it to the border, and I think now it needs dividing. I do like penstemon. They don't last a long time. I think they only last about, plant life's about 5 years. So I'll need to take cuttings. I'll see how I go on with the division, because it's not that old yet. I'll divide it this year and then we'll see. But it's quite nice, kind of stable plant. White goes with everything, right? Look at these, for God's sake. I mean, I'm going to give that a massive haircut. hiding in here is a poor lavender. It's like a, I can't remember if it's Hidcote or Munstead blue, one or the other. So that's not going to do anything while it's being shaded out. This is the, so this big tree, there was a big tree here, don't know, I can't remember, some sort of poplar. It was way too big and it's getting dangerous, so I had to take it out end of last year. And it's sprouted, and it sprouts everywhere, so I've got to take all of that out, otherwise it will just grow again. Not going around the back because there's lots of nettles, and then there's the mystery suspected weed, waiting to see. Looks all right, but there's a lilac tree here, and I want that to thrive, so that's going to need some space. So I'm going to have to take a bit of that out, I think, but let's just give it a bit longer and see what happens. So it's time to get to work on tidying up.
Keep watching to see the results of all my hard work, but in the meantime, can you spot the cat?
Okay, so we're all finished. Kat's having a lovely rest, she's worked so hard. I am absolutely exhausted. Created absolutely mountains of waste, like the whole garden bin, but it looks much better. That's as tidy as it's ever going to get in my garden. There we are. So, time for a well-deserved sundowner gin and tonic. Cheers.